Now, verse number 14 and 15 have to stand beside each other so that we understand where the technology unfolds. Earlier, he was described with the name Madhava, one from whom the nature comes into form and existence. Next is the name of his conchal, Panchajanya. And next is a name again given to him, Rishikesh. Okay, what is Panchajanya? Panchajanya, Pancha Shabd we already know. Most of you know, as with the Pandavas, it goes for the digit 5. Similarly, Panchajanya, it means 5. One that propels, creates, manifests 5 elements is termed as Panchajanya. It has not been termed as Tritiya Janya, Dvitiya Janya, or Shashtiya Janya, or Sapti Janya. No, Panchajanya. Because Madhava alone, the master of the nature alone, can blow such conch shell which will bring into creation the entire existence. What is the existence? The existence is the ether, that is the sky, the Vayu, wind, the Agni, the fire, the water, and the earth. That is we termed as the 5 elements that constitute and create the entire nature. Whatever you see here, the dance of all atomic vibration, somewhere behind the scene, is just a display in a different form of 5 subtler elements that we call as Panchabhuta. Panchabhuta. Panchabhuta unfold from Madhava. Madhava, they unfold from him. They owe their creation to him. They owe their existence to him. If there is no Madhava, there is no Panchatattva, Panchabhuta. Panchabhuta is an outcome of the effort of the Madhava. Whenever the Madhava embarks upon his endeavor to create a creation, he shall blow a conch shell. Now here the blowing of the conch shell is an allegory which has been utilized to explain how evolution takes place. How any constitution or how any creation shall evolve. First of all, the sky shall come into the place, Akash Tattva. From sky originates the wind, Vayu Tattva. And from Vayu, with the friction of the molecules of the air, generates the fire. Then from the fire and air, they further propel what? They propel the creation of water. And then with the conspiracy of all, the earth comes, the gross form comes into existence, which is the earth, Prithvi. Prithvi. These 5 elements of creation are the outcome of the effort of Madhava. So Madhava and Panchajanya become associated when we see them in this aspect. Why is he the Prakriti, Pati? Why is he the master of the nature, Mother Nature, primordial nature? He is the master of the primordial nature because through him the entire story of creation unfolds. Evolution triggers only because he has embarked to blow his own respective conch shell, that is Panchajanya. And now comes the word Rishikesha. Now Rishikesha, as I mentioned, that here Rishikesh means one under whose discipline the sensory organs, they become activated, propel, they are in action. Now before I proceed further, I choose to take a different sequence in order to explain and express the names that have been ascribed to different conch shells of the warriors of the Pandav clan. Under the Pandav clan, let me start, because now I am here to explain the essence of the word Rishikesh. Rishikesh. That means under whose discipline the sensory organs operate. Now the elements, 5 elements and 5 sensory organs, they have to connive together to produce the entire scene before us. Unless the 5 sensory organs and 5 elements, they connive together somewhere within us, the scene that we apparent to us as a beautiful world shall not transpire. Let us understand the divine conspiracy. Sahadev, the youngest one, the youngest of the Pandava clan, has been informed here in Bhagavad Gita to blow his conch shell. First of all, the shape and the structure of a conch shell, it is almost like the vertebra of a human being. Almost like a vertebra. As the conch shell is hollow within, and with the blow of an air shall produce a sound. Similarly, in the vertebra of a human being lie the subtler centers of the power. And when a seeker shall charge with the prana, and when he shall trigger the pranic energy within his subtler center, the activity shall start happening there. Now Sahadev, he has been termed as the earth element. And what is the place of the earth element in a subtler state structure? The place for the earth in a subtler structure is Mooladhara Chakra. For Mooladhara Chakra, the substance that has been termed is Prithvi, that is the earth. What does the Prithvi do? Now another science has to unfold. There is a layering of various scientific facts that constitute the human existence and the existence outside. The layering. One layering was from where the nature had come into existence through 5 elements. Another layering was to understand that what are those elements and where shall they find their appropriate place in a human being. That in parallel shall go on proceeding. Another layer of the human structure and human existence is that we term as Tanmatra. 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 What is Tanmatra? When our sensory organs, they exercise their play, that exercise or effort of each sensory organ is termed as Tanmatra. For example, what is the Tanmatra of the eye? It is sight. What is the Tanmatra of your nose? It is smell. What is the Tanmatra of your tongue? It is taste. What is the Tanmatra of your ear? It is sound. What is the Tanmatra of your hand? It is touch. So the touch, the smell, the sight, the sound, the taste, they are termed as Tanmatra. The effect produced by any respective sensory organ, knowledge-oriented sensory organ, is termed as its Tanmatra. Now here, besides we understand that which subtler center has been allocated what substance, what element, we also have to side by side understand what is its Tanmatra and what are the effects that transpire in any subtler center when it is aroused. The arousal shall always yield to outcome within a seeker. Sahadev has embarked to blow his conch shell by the name Mani Pushpak. Mani Pushpak, the allegory has been given to an essence which means that from where a beautiful flower has now blossomed. It is not blossoming, Mani Pushpak. A flower which is illuminating, which is enlightened in its own form, which is a source of light. Like a flower, it is unfolding. Although the effulgence, the source of light and unfolding do not go with each other together. But here, for the sake of the allegory, in a most poetic manner, the author has chosen to ascribe it a name as Mani Pushpak. Mani is understood to be something which is concealed in the forehead of very few rare snakes. And it is a kind of a gem or a jewel which is absolutely enlightening. It produces light on its own without any external source. It is illuminating. So that is termed as Mani. Here the Mani and Pushpak is the flower. The Mani and the Pushpak both have been associated. Whenever a seeker shall charge upon his spiritual endeavor, the first experience that shall trigger is at the coccygeal center, right at the bottom, where we call as Mooladhara Chakra. The blossoming of the light shall start happening there. That is termed as the Mani Pushpaka. And that is the name which has been given to Sahadev's conch shell. That is the center for the substance Artha. And Arth, that is Prithvi, its Tanmatra is Gandha, smell. The Tanmatra of Prithvi is smell. Now the second center, the subtler center, we come down is Nakul. And the place allocated, the subtler center allocated to Nakul is Swadhisthana Chakra. Swadhisthana Chakra. Somewhere around the genital organs, the sacral center that we generally mention as, and the subtler element which has been ascribed to it is water, Jala, and Tanmatra of Jal is taste. So here Nakul has now chosen his conch shell, which has been given a name Sughosh. What does Sughosh mean? Sughosh means something that is heard with all melody in it. It is melodious. It is very sweet to hear. Why is it so sweet to hear? As a yogi makes a mention, great yogi Lahari Mahashay, and thereafter his lineage, several places, even Ramanujacharya and other great seers have also mentioned that when a seeker comes at the sacral center, that is the genital center that we termed as the Swadhisthana Chakra, on arousal of that center, all doubts, they immediately dissipate. All doubts, skepticism in the mind of the seeker, they dissipate. And the journey is furthered. That is why the conch shell has been named as Sughosh, something which is really melodious to listen. Before I go further, now I shall make a mention to the experience of other seekers who are engaged with me since last couple of years in the pursuit of their own respective spiritual sadhana. Almost all the Nad yogis would recollect that when you are into sadhana of the Nad, Nad means the sadhana of the primordial sound. What is the primordial sound? The effect of the Panchajanya. What is Panchajanya? Onkar Dhvani. The cosmic code of this entire creation is Om. Om is the cosmic code of this creation. Om is the sound produced by Panchajanya. That is the same Om which is heard in different manners and forms through different subtler centers. Entire journey of the same Om with contamination with the respective subtler center shall produce a different voice, a different kind of sound. When a seeker at his initial stage embarks upon the Nada sadhana, when he would chant Om, in parallel to that, he would be able to hear, observe, experience another sound which is like a bumblebee. Initially, at the outset, there is an element of doubt, fear, skepticism. Where from is this sound emanating? I'm not producing. There is no other source around. Who is this? Who is doing this? Where from is it coming? Then gradually he understands or she understands, oh, this has been generated through my own effort. As I chant the Om, in parallel to this, there is this sound like a bumblebee. And that is when a seeker is working upon his Mooladhara Chakra. And as he progresses upward, his sound changes. The moment he arrives at the Swadhisthana Chakra, the sound alters into a sound of a flute. Just like a flute, not absolutely like a flute, but somewhat like a flute. There is no symphony playing over there, but it is something which resembles to the flute. And I must also make a mention out of my own personal experience and through the different experiences gathered by the seekers at large. The sequence of the sound in sadhana necessarily does not confine to what I am mentioning over here. It is not so that you start with the bumblebee and after that you shall be experiencing the flute and thereafter it is something, a harp, or thereafter it shall be a bell or a thunder. No, it's not like that. What happens is when a seeker embarks upon the journey, the entire subtler circuit starts coming into force. You never know. Today you have been able to observe the sound of a harp, tomorrow it may be something different. It is not necessary that the same sequence shall prevail. With different seekers, the sequence has been different. Different seekers, depending upon their own past life and the journey and the structure, the beer inside, they experience a different kind of a sound at a different subtler center. And this is something which we all must mark it as a very important aspect, that it is not necessary that you simply strike to the mention which I have made over here and you draw a sequence for yourself. No, your sequence of observation during your Nada Sadhana could be absolutely different. But since I have to make a mention to all, I have chosen to continue and climb upward from the Mooladhar onwards. So I was at the Swadhisthana, which is the place, abode for Nakul. The subtler element associated with it is water, and the Tanmatra for the water is taste. Now, and the conch shell he blows, the name of the conch shell he blows is Sughosha. Then we come upward. Upward, when we come to the lumbar zone, here we have the Agni. Who is Agni? Arjuna is Agni. The Tattva is Agni, the fire. What is the Tanmatra of fire? Sight, Drishti, Jyoti. All that you are able to sight, fire element produces the light into your eyes, and thereby you are able to visualize all that you can experience and see. Not only outward, but even when inner experiences trigger, then also the subtler elements assist the seeker to be able to visualize and conceive. Now, with Arjun, his conch shell also has been ascribed a different name. What is the conch shell? The conch shell of the Arjuna is Devdatta. What is Devdatta? Dev means the divine. Datta means that is bestowed by the divine. Something which has been bestowed by the divine is termed as Devdatta. Not only that, here, as with the Keshav, he was attributed different names. At a place it was Madhav, from where the primordial sound comes into conception. And the second name was Rishikesh, under whose charge the subtler centers should be, the subtler element should be, the sensory organ should be. Now, one thing you must understand in parallel, while we are flowing with the journey, understand two aspects that are very major. Number one, all these subtler centers, all these elements, they come, they form, and they owe their existence to the one, that is Omkar. That is the primordial sound, that is Panchajanya. And second aspect is whether it is your sensory organs or whether subtler elements, they connive to produce a result. They connive to produce a result. They are not independent of each other. Your sensory organs are not independent of these subtler elements. They connive. They're associated, inextricably woven. They cannot disassociate and exist. They have to be associated in order to produce an effect that you experience. Now here, you must in parallel continue your understanding as a backdrop. Only then a justifiable conclusion shall be arrived at the end of the discourse. Now we come down to Arjuna. The name of the conch shell of Arjuna is Devdatta. And the name given to him, to Arjuna here, is Dhananjay. The name is Arjuna. Why do we attribute a different name to Arjuna over here as Dhananjaya? Yes, going by the norm of the technology of consciousness, we have to attribute him with a different name, therefore a very solid reason. And the reason is that the moment a seeker is able to ascend further from the lumbar zone, from the Manipur Chakra, Manipur Chakra is the center for the fire element, for the Arjuna. The moment he ascends further, he is open to the entire wealth of the Creator. Dhananjaya means one who has been able to win over the great asset, the great wealth of the divine. Dhananjaya. What is the great wealth of the divine? It's not gold, it's not silver, it's not copper, it's not stock, it's not property papers, it's not cash. What is it? All this divine, invocative, intuitive intelligence, paranormal kind of faculties, etc., etc. So much that cannot be encompassed in few words. All that is the wealth of the divine. To be able to perceive the state of a creator is the wealth of a divine. And Dhananjaya is the one who is now going to experience the wealth of the divine. That is why it has been termed as Dhananjaya. We now ascend further and we go on towards here, the heart center. And the heart center, it is the abode for Bhim. And the subtler element of Bhim is the air. And what is the Tanmatra of air? Touch. Touch. And the conch shell blown by Bhim is Pondra. Pondra means one that disassociates. One that disassociates from the lower journey is Pondra. And in the spiritual parlance, when a seeker ascends beyond the heart center, beyond Anahata Chakra, he disassociates from the lower centers. There is no returning back to the lower centers then. Once ascend above the heart chakra, then the journey becomes almost one-way ticket. And here the author has ascribed even Bhim with a different name. And the name which has been ascribed to Bhim is Pondram Dadbhau Mahashankam Bhima Karma Vrikodaraha. Bhima Karma. It seems that the name is Bhima Karma, but no. In Sanskrit, Bhima Karma means something which is strenuous, something which is exorbitant, great, large, Herculean. And the name which has been given to Bhim is Vrikodara. It's a name given to Bhim. Like Dhananjaya is a name given to the Arjuna, Madhava is a name given to the Keshava, Rishikesh is a name given to the Keshava. Here, Vrikodara is a name which has been allocated to Bhim. Vrik means fire, Agni. Vrik plus Udar. Udar means stomach. In whose stomach the fire is contained is named as Vrikodara. Why? Was Bhim a kind of a character who could stomach fire? Yes. Recall the subtler elements. The fire is produced by air. And the fire becomes absorbed in the air. Without air, there cannot be no fire. If you create an absolute vacuum, you cannot ignite fire. In order to ignite and sustain the fire, you need air. So air survives, it survives merely, a fire survives because of the air. It ignites in the air, survives, and then immerses into the air itself. So in the stomach of the air, the fire comes into form and becomes absorbed. Therefore, the name has been given Vrikodara. So in the heart chakra, as the seeker ascends, not only that he disassociates from the lower centers, but also at the same time, he ascends wherein he conceals into himself the fire and goes beyond. And the next is the name. Let me get on to the verse number 16, the most important one among these. Ananta Vijayam Raja Kunti Putro Yudhishthara Nakula Sadevascha Sughoshmani Pushpakau. Few names have been taken earlier. Now I come down to the here. Vishuddhi Chakra. Now Vishuddhi Chakra, here the throat center. Now Vishuddhi Chakra is the center which has been allocated to Yudhisthira, Yudhishthira. What is the element of Yudhishthira? Akash, the sky. And what is the Tanmatra of sky? The sound. And what is the name of the conch shell of the Yudhishthira? It is Ananta Vijay. What does Ananta Vijay mean? Everlasting victory. Everlasting victory. A victory which shall never cease to happen. Why? When a seeker ascends beyond the throat chakra, beyond Vishuddhi chakra, it is only victory, 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 because then after that, thereafter, there is no coming back. There is no reverse gear. There are no drops. It is only an ascension. You cross that zone from where the gravity ceases to exist. You are in a different space altogether. Then you are there to just immerse into the existence of the cosmic mind. You have to now become one with the Panchajanya. Therefore, the name given to the conch shell of Yudhishthir is Ananta Vijaya. Ananta Vijaya. Everlasting victory. Victory forever. No coming back. And the author has carefully chosen to make a mention to the name of Yudhishthir. Though he has mentioned Yudhishthir, but before there is a prefix. What is that? Ananta Vijayam Raja. Raja means the king, the one who is head of the governance. Kunti Putro. Kunti is the name of the mother. Kunti Putro, one who invoked the divine power. One who is potent to invoke divine powers. Divinity is Kunti. And Yudhishthir is the first son of Kunti here in the Pandav clan. And not only that, he has been termed as the Raja. Why Raja? Because the sky element is the king. Anything thereafter shall be contained in the sky, whether it is air, fire, water, or earth, whatever. That all is contained and encompassed and engulfed within the sky element. Therefore, it is the Lord, it is the Raja, it is the king, it is the head of the institution. And therefore, it's mentioned Ananta Vijayam Raja. Kunti Putro Yudhishthiraha. Beautifully, the technology of consciousness has been elaborated in the form of an allegory in the epic Mahabharata, from where has arisen the chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Here, the author has explained to us that when a seeker shall embark in the journey of spiritual pursuit, different kinds of divine sounds they come. Although the source of all divine sound is one, which is primordial sound, Om, Onkar Dhvani, Panchajanya. But whenever that Onkar Dhvani shall come into association with the respective elements within our own subtler center, they shall produce a different kind of a sound. It is therefore that Krishna is always symbolized with a flute in his hand. See the beauty of the formation. Krishna will have a flute. It will not have anything else. I missed to make a mention of the sound produced by the Manipur Chakra, Anahat and Vishuddhi. At Manipur, the fire element, the Arjuna conch shell produce this sound of a harp, which we call as Veena. With the Bhim, Vrikodara, the sound produced of the Onkar is like a bell. And here it is the sea roar, as you stand on the seashore and you're able to listen the roaring noise of the sea. Likewise, when a seeker ascends to the Vishuddhi Chakra, you would listen to that sound. That sound is nothing. It is Panchajanya in contamination with the respective subtler center, producing a different sound. Because with the Keshava, the main center where a flutist shall blow his air is one, Panchajanya. Thereafter, you go on releasing the fingers and the sound alters in accordance to your shift of your fingers. Similarly, all these centers of ours are different holes in the same flute. The Panchajanya blows from the top, and thereafter, the moment you release any finger, the sound in accordance shall emanate from it. Sa, Re, Ga, Ma, the notes, as the notes appear, likewise, where they become released from. It is therefore that Krishna has been ascribed and symbolized with flute as his instrument. It's not just like that. There was no bias for the flute, and there was no aversion for the violin or any other instrument. But here it has been used as a symbolic representation of the human vertebra, where lie all the subtler centers. And when you understand it more and more, you become more close to the image of the Keshava. You become more inclined to it. You become more closer to it. There is an element of devotion. There is an element of love, which automatically there is an upsurge of it towards that idol, which otherwise just confines to the blindfoldedness. So Keshava has been given the flute not just like that. Now you have to understand it from the spiritual anatomy associate it with the spiritual anatomy, and you would understand the flute in better form. You would understand the Panchajanya is the main hole from where the air is blown. And thereafter, different holes they ascribe to different subtler center and respective conch shells of the other Pandavas in the Pandava clan. The shlok, the verse number 17 and 18, they make a mention that when Pandava, the major warriors of the Pandava clan, when they blew their conch shell in support to them, all warriors standing with them, all positive, constructive forces in a seeker, they also gather in order to support the endeavor of a seeker. And they not only they gather there, not only that they support, but they also contribute their part of it. In the 19th verse, there is a mention which has been very carefully chosen that again colors the sight of the Sanjay, who is paid, whose remuneration is paid by the blind emperor Dhritarashtra, but is now presenting the story, the live program in glory to the Pandavas. He makes a mention, oh, the blind emperor, with the thunderous sounds of the conch shells blown by the Pandavas, your clan, your Kauravas are now trembling with fear. They're trembling with fear because somewhere at the back of the mind in Kauravas, there is an apprehension to lose the ground. I conclude to the verse number 19. In the next session, we shall continue our journey in service to Bhagavad Gita. If you have anything to be shared, do drop in a mail or write your views on the YouTube. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.